Heck yeah, I think we're going. I think we got it. But let's double check here. 2 out of 2. Let's get out of here. Okay, but now it's okay. The YouTube is the title's not okay, there. Now it's okay, the YouTube is the title's not okay, there. Now it's okay, the YouTube is the title's not okay, there. Now it's I'm probably getting an echo, ain't I? Because I'm watching myself. I'm trying to. All right. I think we're up. Okay, I think that's good. We're gonna, oops, I don't want to watch yet. I'm gonna jump on some videos, and we're gonna talk about weight loss. We're gonna see if we could critique some of these videos, because there's a lot of misinformation that goes around in terms of a lot of different topics in fitness and health. So let's dive into critiquing them. So I'm just gonna go off of and watch some recent videos, basically within the last week, of weight loss. Some videos that went a little big, and see if people are saying the right stuff here or not. Let's dive in.
People everywhere are recommending GoodRx.
My neighbor showed me the app. It helped me save on my kids' allergy pills.
GoodRx.
Are you thinking that losing fat and building muscle if you're 50 plus is impossible? Good news. Think again.
It's not.
But the secret isn't just about what you eat. It's about the foods you actually prioritize. This is important. Now, after years of testing, I have narrowed it down to 5 foods that you want to make sure that you are getting into your diet on a regular basis.
So 5 foods is definitely interesting. I think in terms of nutrition, you want to widen your variety of foods you eat as best you can. So by her limiting it to 5 different foods, I'm worried, but let's see.
Are you curious? I'm going to share them now. I almost feel like I'm stepping into, like, I don't know, diet religions here when I start to talk about this, because I'm going to tackle the big polarizing subject right at the start: red meat. Now, you might be in...
I'm curious to see what her let's listen.
In the camp that red meat is bad for your health, dangerous. You might be coming from the camp of, like, all you're eating is red meat. I'm going to go right down the middle here. Now, here's the reality. You are what you eat. There is a
I've never heard "you are what you eat" What?
huge difference from eating some processed red meat burger at one of the fast food places and eating some grass-fed, grass-finished lean cuts of beef. Let's be clear here. And what we know about the grass-fed, grass-finished is they actually have higher levels of some of these polyphenols that can be super important for longevity. They also are going to have better sources of omega-3s and CLA, so some really important fatty acids.
So I guess if she's saying 5 foods and she talks about general topics as in red meats, I could see it being a good way to look at things. But red meats is a good broad topic, and they're good food for you.
Acids. But why do I love red meat so much? Well, first of all, it's got something called creatine. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you know I'm a bit obsessed with creatine. Turns out that we have probably 100 to 140 grams of creatine in our muscle stores, mainly in our muscle, a little bit in our brain, and we turn over some every single day. We're making some every single day. So,
all right, she's on a good route here. I'm gonna skip ahead.
There's 9 essentials, 11 conditionally essentials that we can make from the 9 essentials, and the balance of them matters. When you think about eating animal protein, those essential amino acids, the balance of them are made to rebuild animals.
One problem we find with vegans is they have a hard time getting all the essential amino acids of the protein, which means they're just incomplete. They're not going to do as good for you as a complete protein. And what we find is when we eat meat, such as red meat, it's we get all those amino acids, and they're really, really good for you. So,
right? Protein is our function macro. When you eat plants, the balance of those essential amino acids is made to rebuild plants. We're not plants. We are animals. So we're going to get the creatine stores, we're going to get that CLA and omega-3, we're going to get some polyphenols, but we're also going to get a very bioavailable source of essential amino acids, and that's important too. So what am I doing to eat red meat? Let me give you
all right, she's talking a lot about red meat. I'm jumping ahead here. Let's see.
Salmon. Now, I'm sure that there are somewhere out there some very great salmon farms, but without knowing what's going on there, what they're feeding the salmon, how close in captivity they are, if they're getting injected with anything, I don't know what I don't know, so I stick with wild salmon. Salmon are an amazing...
Salmon are really good for you. Really, really good meat. Have a lot of good nutrients in there, so a good protein to have.
Source of protein, but also there's a couple other key reasons I love salmon specifically, and the bright pink salmon specifically, like Chinook, is that color is because they're swimming up close to the surface and the sun is hitting them, and they create this astaxanthin. It's to protect them from the sun, and it is an incredible antioxidant. It's also one that I take and I use in skincare products. So I love salmon because it's got great omega.
I think she's talking a lot about preference here when it comes to what kind of salmon to get. It's kind of like the argument of the meat. Should I get the organic grass-fed, or should I just get the cheap version of meat? And a lot of it comes to preference. I mean, it's what the animal eats. It's where they are grown. So it can make a difference, but in all reality, it's pretty preferential.
Omega-3 fatty acids. We know omega-3 fatty acids are also anabolic. They can help you build and hold on to muscle, and they can help you reduce inflammation. Think of them like nature's Advil. They also help with bone remodeling. So I'm getting omega-3 fatty acids, I'm getting astaxanthin, and crazy enough, fish has creatine in it. Now, if you go and have sashimi, you're going to get a lot more creatine. Creatine degrades with heat. So that's why I said when we were talking about meat, like eating it more rare or eating.
So she seems to be talking a lot about creatine, and creatine is basically one of the most studied substances, and more specifically supplements. Really good for you. They have several benefits into just muscle growth and brain health and a lot of different other things.
Carpaccio, but with salmon, if you can go out and get some sashimi, bonus, because you're going to get a lot more of that creatine with sundae, because that fruit is like fruit and sugar, or by getting one of these fruit flavored yogurts where they generally use sugar to get it to that point, or they use.
So I'm guessing her third topic is yogurt, which is good.
Artificial sweeteners. So avoid those things. Get your own. You're going to save money anyway. Get a big 32-ounce plain Greek-style yogurt, organic. What I do is I like to throw in either my bone broth protein, or I happen to have it right here because I travel with it, my collagen. And I'll throw in one or the other. Bone broth protein is 80% collagen. I'm trying to get some collagen in as well because that's the most abundant protein in our body, but it's not a complete essential amino acid profile. I put the two of those together. That's such an easy thing to do. And now I've got that slow digesting casein, added in some extra.
So again, I think it's a lot of preferences here, a lot of supplements she's diving into here. Which are good. It's good to think about all these different substances that you're intaking into your body, but I think it's almost overbearing to most people because, I mean, you don't know a lot about nutrition and you're listening to all these substances she's listing off, and what do you want to start doing? You want to start adding all those to your Amazon cart, and you're like, I got to get all these into my Greek yogurt, and I think that's not what nutrition's about. It's about getting a wide variety. It's getting that wide variety. And so she talks about all these different nutrients and supplements and the creatines and the, I think your safe bet is the variety. Because then through that variety, you're getting all those nutrients. You don't have to worry about the supplements as much. I mean, supplements can be great, especially if you're lacking nutrients, but get a wide variety of stuff. I'm telling you, if you get a bunch of different colors and a bunch of fruits and vegetables, you don't really have to think about all these things she's thinking about because the variety is getting you those nutrients.
Collagen and a big protein hit, very low calorie too. Another big shocker is probably going to be eggs, because again, in the virgin diet, I found that when people have leaky gut, eggs and dairy tend to be the biggest culprits. But once you've healed your leaky gut, oh my gosh, eggs to me have always been one of nature's perfect foods. Not in the United States so much though. I'm always blown away when I go to Europe and I order eggs and I look at the egg yolk in orange, which is in Europe, it's bright orange. And then today I was at a hotel and I had eggs for breakfast.
Okay, so there is differences in the United States in how because we are mass producing a lot of different foods and stuff, but when it comes to eggs specifically, I wouldn't say as much. But eggs are really good for you. Eggs are, there's a lot of debates on eggs and dairy. I personally am not a big fan of dairy just because everyone has that little bit of lactose in them, and I believe you could find those nutrients through vegetables and other means. But eggs, on the other hand, they're I mean, they're literally the egg, all the nutrients that baby chicken essentially would need to grow, and so if you eat a few eggs, they're great for you.
And there's that.
Great.
Pale yellow yolk. You are what you eat, 8. You want those yolks to be bright yellow. So in the United States, get yourself some pastured eggs. Bonus points if you live in a place where you can actually get one of the collectives, those community collectives.
So the problem with a lot of where she's going here in different, what you want to get the organic, you want to get the pastured eggs, you want to get the more colorful. There are preferences, but you got to realize a lot of it is marketing ploy. The term organic is thrown too commonly on foods. There's so many terms that are thrown on these foods where you're not actually getting that much of a difference. It's like they're raised maybe in a different location, but the same exact way and fed the same exact things, and you're paying $1 extra per pound of eggs. It's just, I think she's a little too paranoid of a lot of these things. It's like you're looking at, say I eat the junk food and then I eat the egg, and then the difference between maybe an egg and an organic egg is just so minuscule. It's just like, I would rather you focus on moving towards the whole foods than thinking about these little things. It's like if you've already moved all the way, transform your diet into a complete healthy and organic diet, then maybe you could start focusing on these little things. But as she makes this general video of, how to eat to lose weight for people over 50, I think she's getting way too complicated and way too complex and overthinking a lot of these areas where I don't think they make a difference. You're spending more and not gaining anything.
Those are farmers' collectives to deliver pastured eggs to you, but the key is in the color of the yolk. Now, the way that I like to do eggs is I will eat a combo of whole eggs and egg whites. I don't really love the yolks, but I really love what the yolks do for me. And what we do know is that you're actually going to absorb more protein if you...
So in a lot of fitness deals, they eat the egg white and not the yolk, but I think that's pretty silly unless your overall goal and you only care about eating those less calories. Then maybe that's an option for you. But you got to realize the egg and egg yolk, that makes it complete, and that's how you get all the nutrients that you would from an egg. I think taking the egg yolk out of the egg is pretty silly. I would eat the whole egg.
You do the combination. In nature, protein comes with fat. Think about every animal source of protein out there. So any animal source of protein is coming with fat. And so what I like to do is take 2 eggs and then 4 to 6 egg whites as my combination for breakfast. And then I'm getting the choline from the egg yolk, which is really important for fatty acid metabolism. It's great for your brain. So I've got that combination. How would you best prepare these? I'm going to do a complete profile of essential amino acids. Also true. However, I think bone broth and collagen are super important to include in our daily diet. Again, because collagen is such an abundant protein.
I mean, bone broth is pretty good, but if you're inserting collagen, I think I don't think that's a smart idea.
Throughout our body. This is how we make our connective tissue, our hair, skin, and nails. And so when you think about it, when you're lifting weights, the first thing that happens as you start to lift weights for the first time is that your muscles and nerves need to learn how to communicate. So it's this whole central nervous system situation where you're learning just how to move things again. Next up, a couple weeks of that, your connective tissue has to strengthen up. When people say, oh, I pulled a muscle or I tore a muscle, they're not tearing the muscle in the muscle belly. Very unusual to do that. What they're doing is they're tearing the muscle where the muscle and the tendon connect, or the tendon and the bone connect, or the ligament connects to the bone, but it's usually muscle-tendon connection. And collagen is critical for this. So when I think about getting stronger, I always prioritize making sure that I'm getting collagen in every single day.
So this goes along the lines of what I've been saying is, she's hyper-focusing on one nutrient, and then more specifically one protein here. That protein exists in different substances. And so you could either think to get that supplement and eat that supplement, or you could think, am I getting these foods that have this substance in my diet? And so she explains it well that collagen is really good for a lot of different reasons, but you got to decide, am I getting that through my diet, or do I need to supplement it? The best way is always through the diet.
To support that, the other thing that collagen is important for, besides hair, skin, and nails, is great skin. Super important for great skin. So how do I do this? If I can, I have some bone broth, and I will say that, nope, I would love to say I make it at home. My son makes it for me at home. But a lot of times I'll be out at a restaurant, and if they have homemade bone broth, I'm having it. So homemade bone broth at a restaurant is one of my favorite things to do, but I don't generally do that often. So what I make sure so that I get collagen in every single day is that I either add it into my morning smoothie, I'll either do my bone broth protein powder, or I'll add in collagen into what I'm doing. So either a morning smoothie.
I also think collagen is one of those overhyped kind of proteins. It is good, but you can get it through your diet. But do you really need to supplement it? Unless you have a really bad diet, you probably don't need to.
You can load it into oatmeal, you can put it into Greek-style yogurt, that's my favorite way to use it, or you can just dump it in your coffee. So I make sure that I get it in some form at least once a day, quite often twice a day, because of all the amazing benefits that it has. Why is that? A couple different things. Number one, because Protein has the essential amino acids that are going to help you start muscle protein synthesis. That's that leucine trigger, the work of Dr. Donald Layman. Thank you, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, for letting me know about that. So you get that. You also need all of those amino acids to help you rebuild. Remember, their function macros are helping you.
Okay, I think I've had enough of this video. I mean, she has a lot of good points on different foods. She knows a lot of what these foods and these nutrients do for you, but hyper-focusing on specific nutrients over others is just like, do I need to hyper-focus on the collagen protein, or should I just think about protein? Things like that. Just get a wide variety of foods. Just think, am I getting good protein in? Am I getting good vegetables, fruits, berries, nuts, seeds, like all of that? Am I getting all of those in? If I'm getting a wide variety of those and every day, I would say you're healthy. You don't need to think about the collagen or the micronutrients. So that's what I have to say about this video. Let's find another one. Oh boy. That was I liked it, but let's go here.
Hey guys, I just found an amazing digital marketing expert on Fiverr.
Ladies, let's talk about why you are struggling to lose weight. You're putting in the work, you're eating healthy, but the scale isn't moving. I see this all the time with my clients. And let me tell you, it's not because you're not trying hard enough. It's because there are some key mistakes holding you back that you might not even realize.
I mean, he's making some good points. Weight loss, it's literally a calorie deficit. Like, anyone that tells you otherwise, they are completely wrong. You cannot gain weight or maintain weight if you're eating less energy than you burn. It's just complete science. So anyone that tells you otherwise is false. And so if you're dieting and you're not losing that weight, then your calories that you eat is not less than what you're burning. So let's see what he says.
Realize you're making. So today, I'm breaking down the 4 big reasons why you are stuck, and more importantly, what you can do to finally see the results you deserve. And number 4 is the one that's probably gonna hit home the most. Key number 1, you are eating less, but not eating right. A lot of you think that just eating less is the key.
A lot of people focus on what they think is eating less, but in all reality, if you're, like I said, if you're eating less than you burn, you're losing weight. But a lot of people are like, well, I'm eating less than I was before. And what it comes down to is, if you're eating satiating foods, you don't really have to worry as much as eating, because what I like to say is, if you're eating 100% whole foods, like apples, like as they come, meat as it comes, fruit, like vegetables, just whole foods, you can eat as much of those as you want, and I guarantee you'll lose weight. The problem is you're eating that processed stuff, that food that's literally designed for you to eat more, and you think you're not going to be starving, you're not going to be miserable, and you're going to lose weight eating that stuff. It's just not true. It's literally made for you to be addicted and consume more of it.
And boost your under-eating or not fueling your body properly. When you don't eat enough, your metabolism slows down and your body holds on to fat. Instead of starving yourself, focus on balance. Get enough protein, healthy fats and fiber so your body burns fat instead of storing it. Eat the right foods in the right portions.
I think one common misconception is carbohydrates are very misunderstood. He says it very well here, is get all of them, get a wide variety. Like I said before, get your berries, get your fruits, get your vegetables, because the variety is going to give you the nutrients your body needs to function. And as you make it whole foods, it's going to be very satiating for you, meat especially.
Is way more effective than just eating less. And here's the thing, if you constantly feel tired, sluggish, or like you're always hungry, that's a sign your body isn't getting enough nutrients. Your body needs food to function, to burn fat, and to build muscle. If you're only eating 1200 calories a day and wondering why you're not seeing results, it's because that's not enough fuel for your body to perform and recover properly. So ladies, instead of focusing on eating less, focus on eating smarter. Prioritize whole nutrition dense food.
I mean, he's hitting it on the dot here. I mean, this is just everything I'm saying he's hitting here. So let's see if we could critique him at all.
Foods. Eat enough protein to support your muscle and make sure you are getting enough fiber to keep your digestion in check. It's not about eating less, it's about eating right. And
so let's talk about fiber a little bit. I should go full screen. Fiber is another thing that's pretty misunderstood. I like to think of fiber as what holds your food together. And so by taking processed foods, they literally take all that out and you lack that fiber, and thus your digestion stinks. But I wouldn't think as much as digestion as I would nutrient absorption. It's like the train that brings that nutrients everywhere they need to go in your body. And so if you eat that processed food without that fiber, without the things that are holding it together, your body just sucks it right up right away, and thus the nutrients don't need to go where they need to go, and it just goes right to your fat storage. And so fiber, I hope he doesn't hyper focus on this. It's good to think about, but focus more on whole foods.
And another big mistake, cutting out carbs completely. Carbs are not the enemy. Your body needs them for energy, especially if you are working out. The key is choosing the right carbs. Things like sweet potato, oats, instead of processed junk. It's not about removing food. No. It's about making better choices. And let's talk about water. If you are...
I mean, let's talk about that a little bit. It's less about food. It's more about making important choices. I think he's hitting it really good here. Is think less about limiting your food and more about trading some foods for others. When I help people get on a diet plan, it's best to take it really slow. And so keep your diet as it is. And I would say, let's start with your breakfast. What are you eating for breakfast? And they'll be like, oh, okay, I'm eating cereal. I was like, okay, cereal is it's full of stuff you don't want to do. So let's start thinking about maybe a better breakfast. Let's do maybe some eggs and some berries. Let's start with breakfast and start trading out these things that are processed and full of calories and sugars and start trading them for more whole foods.
Not drinking enough water, your metabolism slows down, your digestion gets sluggish, and your body holds on to excess weight. Now, let's move into key number 2.
I mean, water is pretty important for everything in terms of your health. I wouldn't hyper focus on it in terms of weight loss, but I would say keep water with you. I have water with me 24/7. This bottle's around me, so I'm sipping it all the time. I build a habit like in between sets and workout, I sip. I try to drink this whole thing in one day. So water is important for health. Yeah.
Key number 2, your workouts are too random. I want you to be honest. Are you following a plan, or are you just going with whatever workout you feel like on that day? Or if you see it on Instagram. If you don't...
I like that. I mean, I consider exercise, my definition of exercise is intentional and progressive movements. And so if it's not intentional or progressive, you're almost wasting your time, because you have to go in and, for example, intentional, you got to know what you're aiming for. What's the goal? So how is that exercise or whatever you're going to do that day going to bring you somewhere? Secondly, if it's not progressive, if you walk, 1 mile on the treadmill at 3 miles an hour a day for a month, your body is going to adapt to that, and it's not going to do you anything. And so especially in terms of weight loss, in terms of cardio and even exercise, if you're not elevating that weight or speeding that up or doing more time on that treadmill, however you want to progress it, your body will adjust to it, and that weight loss is going to be even harder because your body's this crazy adapting machine. So make it intentional and make it progressive.
Don't have structure. you won't see results. A lot of you do a little bit of everything. Some cardio here, some weightlifting there, but there's no real progressive overload. That means you're not increasing the intensity over time. Your body isn't being challenged to change. If you are lifting the same weights, doing the same workouts, and not tracking your progress, how do you expect your body to improve?
I would say that's maybe the biggest problem in the gym is just people are literally lifting the same weights every time. And I don't know personally how you don't get bored of that and you keep going and you just, those 20 pounds, you just keep curling them every time. Every Tuesday in the gym, you're curling those 20 pounds. Go to 25. You got to progress if you want to improve in any area in terms of muscle growth, weight loss, whatever it is, progress.
Body adapts to what you do consistently. If you don't switch things up and push yourself a little harder each time, your progress will stall. So instead, follow a structured program that actually builds strength and burns fat consistently. That's why I have my one-on-one coaching where I help my clients.
All right, he's going to advertise here, but he's right. I think one misconception too is if your goal is weight loss, you got to realize how many angles you could tackle this from, because you can, they say it's in the kitchen, but I would like to think of it as two angles from exercise and the kitchen. But in terms of exercise, a lot of people are like, oh, I'll do cardio. I'll go walking. I'll go sit on the stationary bike, whatever it is. You have to understand you could burn calories while lifting weights, and you're almost getting 2-in-1 benefit. You're burning calories, elevating your heart rate, and you're also gonna tone up. And so not only are you gonna lose that belly, but you're gonna get bigger where it matters. And muscle mass is extremely important. So if you're only doing cardio, cardio is great, definitely do cardio. But if you're only doing cardio and not lifting weights, I would say it's more beneficial to lift weights and not do cardio.
Clients structure their programs, their workout. And before we move on to key number 3, another mistake, doing too much cardio and not enough strength training. Lifting weights
exactly what I was
make
saying.
you bulky. It will help you burn fat faster, shape your body, and boost your metabolism. If all you're doing is cardio, you're burning muscle along with fat, making it hard.
I mean, that's very true. If your muscles aren't being activated, then your body literally has, I have no reason to maintain these muscles. And so it will eat off those muscles too. And so by exercising your muscles, your body's like, oh, I'm using these muscles. So where is it going to take the energy from? What's it going to burn? Your fat. And so that's another key area of exercise too, if you want weight loss.
Harder to keep the weight off long term. And if you're not seeing changes, it's time to start tracking your progress. Take progress pictures, note how much weight you are doing, how much weight you are lifting, and track your meals. Track how you feel. Seeing these small wins will keep you motivated to keep on going. Key number 3, you're not managing your stress or sleep. Listen, weight loss isn't just about what you eat and how you train.
So if you go to he's hitting all my points here. If you go to my website, you see my physical health model that I've created has 4 pillars. You have your exercise, your nutrition, and your hydration. And he just hit my last one, sleep. Sleep is very important for your health. A lot of people underestimate the power of sleep, and you're sleeping in on the weekends, you're not getting enough sleep during the week when you're working, and it's making it harder for your body to recover and help you reach these goals you want to reach. So make sure to sleep. That's literally your body's time to recover and grow muscle and burn fat. That's the time for your goals to come into play. You act during the day and your results come while you're sleeping.
If your stress levels are high and your sleep is bad, your body will fight against you. Stress increases cortisol, a hormone that makes you store fat, especially around the midsection. And if you are not sleeping enough, your body craves junk food.
Very true. I personally wouldn't really talk about stress, because what's funny is when you actually start tackling your exercise and tackling your nutrition, your stress seems to kind of disappear. Even if you're having a lot of stress at work and you go home, and it's almost an outlet that the exercise gives you. And by having nutrition, you're getting the nutrients your brain needs to function properly, and you feel better, and you're less moody, thus meaning you're going to act better, and your stress is going to be better. If you're sleeping better, you're going to be less tired, which is going to be less stress. And so me personally, I wouldn't even put stress really into the picture unless it's a severe problem that's causing a lot of, but I would say tackle your exercise, nutrition, sleep, and hydration, and I bet you won't have any stress. Like, almost guarantee you.
Slows down the metabolism and messes up your energy levels. Ladies, between me and you, let's keep it real. When you are stressed, what do you crave? Do you crave a salad? Probably not. You crave sugar, carbs, comfort food. That's because stress hormones make your body look for quick energy, leading to emotional eating and cravings that are hard to control.
I question why he's making this video specifically to women. Women tend to want to look towards other women for tips and advice, and yet he's targeting this video for women. He has a lot of great advice. I would say target it for everyone, even more specifically men, because men look to men for advice. So I don't know why he's talking to women directly. That's interesting.
And don't even get me started on sleep. If you are only getting 4 to 5 hours of sleep every night, your body isn't recovering properly. Your workouts suffer and your hunger hormones get completely thrown off. Lack of sleep makes you hungrier, slows your metabolism, and makes fat loss harder than it needs to be. The solution: prioritize quality sleep and find ways to manage stress. That could be taking walks, journaling, meditating, whatever helps you feel calmer, because when your stress is under control.
I would say the biggest motivator of stress would be making sure we're still going here. Biggest motivator of stress is maybe social. I would say that's probably the number one thing I would say is how are your relationships? Do you have good time with other people, or are you pretty isolated? I would say relationships would be the number one thing in terms of stress if I were to go in that direction.
Your body is in a much better place to burn fat. The last key number 4, you keep starting over. This one might sting a little bit, but let's be real. A lot of you aren't consistent long enough to see any results. You start strong for a week or 2, but then you miss a workout, eat something bad, and you feel like you have to start over again. Lady,
I do think this is an important point. A lot of people, they want that instant fat loss. So that's why some of these trendy diets and things get so popular, is people want that fat loss quick. But I promise you, slow progress is permanent progress. And so you have to make it a lifestyle. You can't make this just like a quick, my January every year, I'm going to lose a few pounds and then I won't think about my health and fitness for the rest of the year. It literally has to be a lifestyle if you really want these goals. Because even if you do manage to lose a few pounds pretty quickly, it's going to come back on pretty quickly. So if you really want this, you have to be consistent and you have to make it a lifestyle and not just a temporary betterment to your life.
ladies, let me tell you something. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. One bad meal, one missed workout doesn't ruin your progress. What matters is getting back on track and keeping it moving. Now, ladies, think about it. If you quit every time you hit a small setback, you'll always be starting over. Instead of aiming for perfection, aim for consistency. If you mess up, just get back on track with the next meal or the next workout. That is how real progress happens.
Very good advice. I mean, here's the thing. You have to have discipline. And my definition of discipline is showing up even when it's inconvenient to you. And so it's raining outside, you don't want to go for that walk. It's cold, you don't want to get in that cold car and drive to the gym. You don't have anything made, you're feeling lazy, and so you might as well order that McDonald's on the DoorDash. Discipline requires you to make the choices that lead to your goals, especially in unfavorable circumstances. So you have to consistently make those decisions. Am I saying that you can't mess up? You can mess up. I mean, messing up is part of the process. I mean, I would say the curve of growth, it's like a stock trend line. It never is going to be perfect and straight up, but you're either progressing or you're regressing. And so make sure that meal isn't going to lead into another meal, You say, I'm going to do good, and then I'm going to have, so I would say intentional mishaps. I think your regression should be intentional, is what I'm saying. Plan one cheat meal out of the week. I'll go out to eat one time a week. So that's that, right? And that'll feed my cravings. I'll be able to dive back into the diet I have. Let's say I have one rest day of the week. That's my dip. So whatever it may be, I would say if it's unintentional, say, oh, I don't feel like it today, I'm going to just go get that fast food. That is very likely to lead into another day, to another day, to another day. And then your progress is almost gone. So I would say plan your cheats, plan your rest days. That way your progress can be completely intentional and always going in the right direction.
And here's the truth, ladies. Weight loss isn't about going hard for a few weeks. It's about creating healthy habits that last. If you stop every time life gets busy or you don't see instant results, you will never get to where you want to be. The results come when you keep on going, even if it feels slow. Trust the process and stay patient.
All right, this guy, he hits a lot of it right on the nail. I wouldn't really talk as much about stress. I think, sure, it's important, so maybe that's good to talk about. Me personally, I wouldn't have. And why is he talking to women? Talk to men, dude. Let's find another video. Oh gosh, I'm not gonna do that. Oh man. Number one diet for fat loss. Okay.
Liberty. Liberty Mutual is all she talks about since we saved hundreds by bundling our home and auto insurance.
सभी दर्शकों को मेरा नमस्कार। कैसे हो आप सभी लोग? एक नया डाइट वीडियो लेके आपके सामने फिर हाजिर हूं और इस वीडियो में मैं आपके साथ शेयर करूंगा।
Okay. Never mind. This looks interesting.
Are you one of the many people that have tried to lose weight and you can't lose weight? Or you try to get healthy and you can't get healthy? You tried every single diet that's out there, or you tried every single concoction that's out there, and you're still not getting the health goals you want to get achieved? Hi, my name is Dr. Evan Shea. I want to share with you a simple formula to help you achieve your healthcare goals, whatever it is. Just one thing I want you to remember, that your health is a direct adaptation to your lifestyle choices.
All right, I'm already judging this guy by his sweatshirt. Wherever I see rehab and spine, I'm not a fan of physical therapy, rehabilitation, and chiropractic work. And that's kind of looking like maybe where his sweatshirt is leading, so I'm judging him already.
So what does that mean? If your health is a direct adaptation to your lifestyle choices, then this is what this means. It means this, that we choose to be healthy by what we eat, how we think, how we feel, then how we supplement, and also how we move. So I want you to be mindful of that. Our lifestyle is causing most of our health issues. Now, say we're on the perfect diet, and I'm sure a lot of you have tried many, many different diets because there's hundreds of different diets out there, right? Now imagine you went on, say, the keto diet, and you read everything about the keto diet, and you read all the testimonials, and you find that the keto diet has helped hundreds, if not thousands of people to lose weight. But then you try the keto diet and you don't lose weight.
I think he's heading in a good direction here. Diets are pretty good it can be really helpful if you find a diet that works for you. There's some diets that say, oh, it worked for me so much, and then you try it and you're like, what the heck? We all have different bodies. We all have different literal kind of genetics based on how we've been eating. So some diets work for some diets don't work for others. But I will tell you this, the number one reason why diets work is not because of what they're eating, but because of what they're not eating. It's exclusionary. So by jumping on the keto diet, why it works for most is because they're cutting what? The processed crap out. Why does the carnivore diet work for a lot of people? It's not because if they're just eating meat necessarily, it's because they're eating less of that processed junk and sugars.
Or say you tried the paleo diet. And you tried the paleo diet, you went clean, you went off all the carbohydrates, and you're eating very, very nicely, and you still haven't lost weight. Then you try the vegetarian diet, then you try the intermittent fasting, right? So I want to show you a simple formula to be able to show you how to actually not only lose weight, but also stay healthy for a long period of time. So here's the simple formula. Health equals action divided by identity. So what is action?
I like his whiteboard wall. It's kind of cool. I kind of want one.
Action is how we move, how we eat, and how we supplement. Those are the three actions that typically, we could add one more, and that's how we sleep, right? And so if we take great action and we work on our sleep and we exercise daily, and
I would add hydrate on there, according to my physical health model, but all right.
Allegedly, it's supposed to improve our health. We're going to the proper diet, the proper nutrition, right? We think that we're doing all the right things, and I get this a lot in my clinic, especially after treating 700,000 patients. You know, by now I should be able to see common patterns. And I remember there was times when I would put somebody on what I would consider the perfect diet. Now, there's no perfect diet, right? But I put them on a diet that...
I would disagree. I think there is a perfect diet, and my perfect diet is a wide variety of whole foods. So it's more inclusionary and less exclusionary. And so, like I've said earlier, is you get as many fruits and vegetables and berries and nuts and seeds and meats and eggs and as much as whole foods as you can and get that in. I think that's the perfect diet. I think anything outside of that is preferential and may work depending on you, but I would say there is a perfect diet.
Had another patient lose 50, 75, 100 pounds in a very short amount of time. But then I put somebody else on a similar diet, but they didn't lose the weight. No change happened. And then I assessed them, I put them on herbs, I put them on supplements. You tried this too, I'm sure. You go to that vitamin shop, you spend $200 to $300 a month on supplements, and you're still never hitting those goals. That's because there's one thing that's missing in most weight loss and healthcare journeys, that our identity is disrupted. So what's an identity? An identity is nothing but a belief plus a belief plus a belief. So an example of this is this. Say you grew up in a household where everybody was overweight, and you saw that's how everybody's supposed to be. You ate the same food, you had the same habits. Then one day you're like, you know what, I'm enough. I want to lose weight, I want to go on a diet, I want to get on supplements, I want to start exercising, I want to start moving. And you start taking a lot of action. And you take so much action, and your health does not improve. Because most people start with actions first.
All right. I'm interested to see where this goes, but I'm not liking the direction I see it going in, because action is the first step of anything. I mean, maybe it could go in a good direction. I understand you have to have that end goal. You have to envision what you want to be, who you want to become, and then what actions does that character need to get there, essentially. So if that's the direction he's heading in, sure. But I don't know. Let's see.
Now I'm flipping the script here a little bit, because I'm big about taking action. But you could do all the action in the world, but if you don't believe that you could lose the weight, you're not going to lose the weight. If you don't...
scientifically impossible. If you are taking the correct actions, you will lose the weight regardless of what you believe or not. What you believe can heavily influence the long-term actions of this diet or weight loss, but yeah.
Don't believe that you're going to get healthy, it's not going to work. I can't tell you how many patients that came in to see me, and they come in, they're waiting for me for, say, weeks or months to see me. And they come in, and the first thing they say to me is, you're not going to help me. So before they even start, they're telling me I can't help them. Even though they're putting all their money and the trust into me, they don't believe they could get better. Now, beliefs play a critical role in your health. Now, say this. Say I had...
So there's a lot of scientific or philosophical behind this in terms of, you know, the law of manifestation or faith is believing in something and then acting upon that belief, believing that that action will bring you there and that'll bring you there. And so I'm kind of along with him on that side of it. But the truth is, like, regardless of your belief or not, you will lose weight if you're in a caloric deficit. There's no way around that. And so I could see long-term goals. You definitely need to have some sort of what he calls identity behind that and believing that you will get there and trusting that the process will bring you there. But let's see where he goes.
A lot of belief. But I took very little action. What's going to happen to my health? It's also going to be low. It's a simple mathematical formula, right? So I slept well. I focused on my sleep. I focused on how I move. I'm moving. I'm exercising. I'm eating well. I got all.
I don't understand the math. How is the action going to be divided by the identity? Because I guess if I have zero identity, the action would equal 0. I don't know. Maybe my math is weird.
All the white flour out. I got all the grains out of my diet. I'm eating very clean, and I'm supplementing very well, right? So I'm supporting my adrenals. I'm detoxifying, right? But I have low identity where I don't believe I could lose the weight. Then you're never going to really be healthy, and vice versa. You have a lot of belief. But if you don't take the right actions, then you're not going to be healthy. It's a very simple formula. And I see this in the clinic a lot. Patients, they take a lot of action, but their identity has to shift. And I'm telling you now, it's not until we actually change our identity. And those are strategies and techniques, and there's a lot of tools out there. I'll teach you one tool today to change your belief structure. Because if we don't change our identity, we don't change our belief, we're not going to be able to change it.
Yeah, I'm really deciding kind of negatively on this concept because he's basically almost teaching that not that the actions they're doing is wrong, but that the identity is wrong. So it's not like, oh, you're doing everything right, but you don't believe it. It's like, no, if you were doing everything right, you will lose that weight. There's no way around that. So I don't like this concept. I would say we need to teach more action. And I mean, maybe there's a little bit of this behind the scene, but bringing it up front like this, I think is misguiding and not because he needs to address the action that's not causing the goal. Like that's literally what it comes down to.
That's it. It's a very simple formula. So when my patients come in, they ask me, so what's the number one thing I can work on? I'm always going to start with belief. Always. Because if you don't believe you could get healthy, or you don't believe you could lose the weight, or you don't believe that you could get off certain medications, then it's not going to happen. Or if you don't believe you could be pain-free, it's not going to happen.
I mean, okay, I'm starting to think about it. There are certain misconceptions that is definitely really important to address in terms of some people. But here's the thing, if they are willing to make the action, then I don't think they have these beliefs. There are some people that believe they're just genetically obese. It's just nothing they could do about it. It's just how they are. Or they believe that I can't lose weight. It's literally, I take this medication and this medication prevents me from losing weight, even if I'm in a caloric deficit. And that's completely false and wrong. And so it's important to address those. But normally, if they already are in the action phase, they shouldn't have any identity or beliefs that are contrary to, because if you believe in something, you take an action for it. That's the whole definition of faith and anything in life. So I disagree with the premise.
So the patients that come in, I had a patient last week that came through. She's like, "You're not gonna be able to help me." I'm like, "You're probably right. I can't help you." And then I treat them, and they started feeling better. The moment they start feeling better, I'm adding bricks to a belief.
How do you treat? How do you treat? I feel like treating is more of a medication and a pharmaceutical answer. I don't know.
Visit. Then they come back in for another visit, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, maybe I can get better." Then another visit, and then another visit. So we start stacking, adding up these new belief structures that over time, we reprogram the brain. We reprogram the subconscious brain to have faith and belief that we could get better. That's why your health is a direct adaptation to your lifestyle choices. Lifestyle consists of 4 elements specifically. It's how we eat, how we move, how
sleep,
we think, that's our belief, and then how we supplement.
Disagree. I don't think supplements are necessary. They can be helpful, but making it one of his main things, he now has it twice on his whiteboard up there. No, supplement is not necessarily. And the thing is, the thought. I don't like the thought in this model because every action requires that thought. An action is literally just an extension of a thought, and so I would more like the idea of just the 2 ideas of how we eat and how we move.
It's extremely simple, but it's not easy to do. So we could go on the right diet plan, the right supplements, but if we consistently think that we can't get healthy, or we can't get out of pain, or I'm gonna live with this pain forever, or I'm gonna live with this weight gain forever, then all the actions you take could be for naught. So we need to reprogram the brain, and we need to reprogram the habits and beliefs. So let me show you another diagram, okay? Now, it's very important that you understand this. I'm gonna keep that up top.
I still like his whiteboard wall. It's pretty cool.
Now I'm going to draw a picture of the mind and the body.
It doesn't seem like it's erasing too well, though. It erases all right.
So this is the mind. That's the body.
That's a big head.
Now the mind is divided into 2 portions. We have our conscious mind. I'm going to give the C, and our subconscious.
Subconscious.
Our subconscious mind are all the...
So why is he getting so psychological in weight loss? It's literally, it's complex, but it's simple. Just like, I mean, the first video we watched today, it's just, why make it so complex? Like, people are having a hard time to lose weight as it is, and you're burning conscious and subconscious into weight loss. Like, what are you doing? It's literally just what are your actions and what's not lining up here. That's what it comes down to.
Programs we've had our whole entire life, whether that's familial, whether that's societal, whether that's community, it doesn't matter. All the subconscious programs, mainly that are actually programmed into our brain before the age of 7, that's the subconscious mind. So our thoughts, which is our conscious mind, they create a feeling, which is the subconscious mind, and the feeling creates an action inside the body.
That is a good model. I like that. That's I'm literally creating one like that, and I'm trying to write a book about it, but that is a cool and very true psychological model right there.
And so in order for us to change how the body responds to a thought, feeling, and action, then we have to actually start with the thoughts first. So let me teach you one technique you can do. So it's very simple. And what I want you to do, I just want you to put your hands on your heart, And I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to put a little smile on your face. And as you feel this feeling of gratefulness, gratitude, and love and joy in your heart, you can put a little smile on your face. You're going to take a deep breath in, and you're going to exhale. As you exhale, put a little smile on your face. I want you to feel that feeling of gratitude. And as you're feeling this feeling of gratitude, what I want you to also do is visualize your goal. Whether that's getting out of pain, or a certain number of pounds you want to lose, or if it's you want to get off a certain medication, or a doctor telling you, hey, listen.
Where's the actions? Where's the what are you not doing right? Is he literally, his statement is you're only there because you don't believe it? That's a completely false premise. He just has sleep and movement and eating up there, and that's like in one of those, in the movements or the eating, like literally in those two, that's where your problem lies if you're not losing weight. It doesn't have to do with how you feel. It's so, I mean, he seems like a deep guy and he seems like he knows a lot, but why are you not addressing the key problems and going into this belief? Maybe this video will help people, but I would rather address the issues, not your thought, because the thought isn't going to bring the result. Regardless, the actions will need to be corrected. Regardless of how you feel. If you're not losing weight, that means your actions are off. So those will need to be corrected. It doesn't matter how you feel. So maybe the feeling will help you change those actions, but down the road, regardless, actions are going to have to change to get your results.
Listen, your disease is gone. You want to feel the feeling as if it's already happened. Because in the brain, once you start feeling the feeling as if you're healed, it's going to send messages up the brain consciously. Then the brain's going to send messages down, securing that feeling, and it's going to change the biochemistry inside the body. And when you do this right before you go to bed, you'll start noticing changes, because before you go to bed, you're in what's known as a theta brainwave state.
See, and now he's just diving deeper down the rabbit hole. It's just like, why are you studying this stuff, dude? You should be going right into... You should study more on the actions. You haven't said one specific action of why people might be not losing the weight they want to lose. He's going down this rabbit hole. You think you're going to help people, or are you going to confuse them? I don't know.
Theta brainwave state is a hypnotic state. So right before you go to bed and you feel that feeling of gratitude as if you're already healed, or feel the feel of the wish already happening, then the body starts creating a biochemistry as if. So in every single cell, there's something known as a neuropeptide. These neuropeptides, they respond to the thoughts we think. So if we think something negative, so if we think something like, I just can't lose the weight, or I can't believe this happened to me, your body's gonna start responding biochemically. And the body starts laying down stress hormones. And those stress hormones will cause blood sugar to rise, heart rate to rise, and it's also gonna suppress the immune system. Stay tuned to my next video. I'm gonna be talking about the biology.
All right, let me give you some advice that really works. Eat less, move more. Done. Like there's complexities to it, but too far down the rabbit hole. Are you a psychologist? I kind of want to look at what is he a doctor in?
My name is Evan Shade.
Naturally, but you're talking about supplements, therapy, acupuncture. I don't like those. Nutrition is good. Clinical nutrition? What the heck is clinical nutrition? Yeah. I don't even know what he's a doctor in, but too complicated. Simplify it. Tell people the actions they actually need to take. I would say, let me break weight loss down for you. Eat more whole foods and move more. That's it. I'll say those are the two best things you could do. And so if you're not losing weight, think about those two things. Is there something processed in my diet that I could change for a whole food? And is there a way I can move more? That's simple weight loss in a nutshell. Like, I guarantee you, just ask those 2 questions, and every time you're struggling to lose weight, every time you're hitting a plateau, hit one of those 2. You got it. There it is. There's your weight loss. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do today. So thank you for joining. I'll try to do this a few times a week.